up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Factored YouTube channel. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing a brand new tiggy pipe on a brand new Tiguan. This is my fiance's. It's a 2021, and as you guys know, I like to customize some V-dubs on this channel, so that's what we're doing today. So for the install, you're going to need tape and a marker to mark off where you're going to make the cut underneath the exhaust. And then you're going to need an exhaust clamp in order to seal the exhaust together. I bought that from O'Reilly's for, I think it was like 12 bucks. It wasn't really that bad. And then finally you need your pipe from b2fab. And actually I got to send a shout out to them because they're actually helping sponsor this video. They sponsored me the part. I do have one on my silver Tiguan, and it sounds really amazing and I really liked it, and I wanted to do another one on the white Tiguan here. So, you know, we're gonna put that on ourselves today. The last one I had a shop do it, and it came out pretty well, but I just wanted to do another b2fab pipe on here, so we're gonna get that set up. Now, as for the tools you're gonna need, besides the ones that I showed you, is you're gonna need a deep 13 and 15 socket, which we do have, and then you're gonna need a chain style cutter. And the reason why you're gonna need that is because you want to try and make your cut as straight as possible. You don't want it to be crooked, because then it's not gonna fit on right. So with that, we're gonna get under here and get all this stuff set up, and then we'll show you guys step by step how to do it. So to give you guys kind of an idea of what the stock exhaust sounds like, if you have a Tiguan, you'll already know, but if you don't, and you're thinking about getting one, but you want a different exhaust on it, then that's why I'll show this clip right here. So I'll set this thing down, and then we will show you exactly what the exhaust note sounds like on the stock setup. So, as you were able to tell from that little clip right there, not really that loud, which is why we're going to change that. We're going to give it a little nice exhaust note. It's going to sound a little bit more performance-y, if you will. So, like I said, I have one on my silver Tiguan, and I'm very happy with it. Like I said, both of these are from b2fab, and if you look at the quality finish on here, I mean, it does look really good. It's a nice stainless steel piece, and then they got their name on the pipe, as you've seen, which is cool, because if they're willing to put their name on it, then that means it's a good product, right? So with that, we're going to get under here, get this thing set up, and we'll explain to you what we're doing step by step.
All right, so now we're under the car. You can see the factory resonator we're going to pull off. Just got a little dump on each side. It's got a rubber hanger on each side. You can see here, we're going to go ahead and leave it in the hangers for now until we cut it. Easiest tool to use with this, like he said, is the chain cutter. Good thing about this is it's going to basically center itself on the pipe, and it's going to give you a nice clean cut. Things you want to avoid with this is putting too much pressure on. You want to be gradual with it. And also, in addition to that, you want to give yourself a good range of motion, or it'll prefer the rollers, the blades that are closest to it, and you'll end up with half a cut. So give yourself a nice wide sweep while you're using this, and I'll show you that now. The spot we're going to cut is just even with the back of this rear subframe here. So just kind of go straight down from it. If you're not proficient with doing this type of stuff, I'd recommend putting the tape around and drawing a line. me, I've done it a few times, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get after it. So what we're gonna do is roll this over the top here. And line this up. Just gonna take this, set it in the hooks. Line her up good. And just start slow so that way it kind of centers. Just gradual pressure. And like I said, you're going to want to give yourself a good range of motion with this. You don't want to just sit here and go back and forth. Otherwise it'll just cut on these two wheels. That's where it's getting the most pressure. So just be gradual, work yourself back and forth. Don't give too much pressure, and that's especially important once you get further into the cut, because you can actually oval the pipe if you are, reefing on it.
Alright, so as you guys seen in the time lapse, you gotta kind of just work at it for a little bit, but it eventually does come apart, and as you also see, it makes a very straight cut, which is why b2fab wanted me to go ahead and use that cutter. Now, I don't know if you can see in here really well, and we'll get you a better shot in a minute, but there is some kind of burrs here. So that's why you're going to want to file it away to make sure that it's, nice and uniform and you don't have anything hanging up. But now what we're going to do is we have two bolts that hold this up on either side. Right there. So we're going to take these bad boys down, and then we'll be to the next step. Alright, so as you guys see, have these two little tabs coming off the stock resonator that you need to get off, which you'll just pry those off, no big deal.
A little bit of soap and water helps.
Yep, just a tad bit of soap and water. And then what we'll do is we will slide said tabs back onto here. Alright, so right here is where your stock exhaust hanger is going to go. So you just simply pry it off here, which it won't be hard because it's new. And then they say when you go to put the new exhaust hanger on, lube it up with maybe some oil or soap and water or something like that, just to make it kind of slide on a little bit easier. And we'll show you guys how to do that here in a second. So what we're doing now is we're spraying a little bit of soapy water on here to kind of get it to come free. He's got a little puller right there that we'll just try and muscle it off there with and see if that works out.
I think they make an actual tool for it, but most of the time you don't need anything. Usually come off pretty easy. Once you get that nipple through, they're not bad. On this one, it's about impossible getting that thing through there, though.
But we will make it possible very soon. And if you don't have one of these, you could probably use some type of pry tool, a screwdriver, something like that. We're just using this because it's what we have.
Yeah, even with this, it's still, oh, there it goes. There it popped through.
There we go. Now we're ready to move on to actually putting it onto the Tiggy pipe itself. So we are ready for the next step. Now, this is where you're going to be installing your exhaust hanger to hang your Tiggy pipe. Now, one thing they tell you is while you are hanging this up, you want to make sure that your bracket right here is facing towards the exit of the exhaust pipe. All right, so you definitely want to get that right, because if you don't, it could cause some unfortunate problems that you don't want. All right, so what you're going to do is just oil the inside. Oh, here we go. So you'll just want to put some oil on the inside of your hanger there. That way it's a lot easier to get on. All right, so we got it facing towards the exit. And I wouldn't imagine it really matters whether it goes on right side up or upside down or whatever, simply because, you know, it spins around and everything. And I wouldn't see why it would sit any other way, since this is the way that is going to be facing up towards the vehicle. So, and if so, I mean, it's lubricated now, so we'll be able to just take it off pretty easy and deal with it from there. But the next step will be to get this sucker back underneath the Tiguan, kind of dry fit it a little bit, see where it's gonna look better at, or you know, how good it's gonna fit up. Once you get it mocked up and it's ready to go, then I'll put the strap on and everything and make sure that, you know, it's where I want it to be at, and then I'll put the bolt back in there, and after that we'll get it fired up and see what she sounds like.
You want to hold that pipe down.
All right, so what we have to do is, as you can see, we are having to expand the exhaust
Just ever so slightly.
just a little bit to get it to fit over the OEM pipe there, which is no big deal.
You could probably wrestle it on there, honestly.
Now, where would you get one of these tools at if they don't have one at home?
Pretty much any car parts store. O'Reilly's, AutoZone. Unfortunately, this one is like mad cheap. This thing sucks.
But as you see, guys, it's not really that hard. You just kind of slip the piece in there, and then it uniformly expands the pipe, which is what you want. You want a good uniform expansion so it's not all wallered out and all that.
This was ever so slightly like too tight, and that might have actually been when we used that that cutter. We might have just been a little too aggressive with the pressure. If so, it can oval it out or whatnot, but a lot of times you can just kind of rotate this back and forth and find the sweet spot where it'll slip over. Come on. Oh, she close. Hold up that end for me.
Yeah. see, you just kind of waller it back and forth there, getting into about where you need it at. Get that sucker put on there. Technical difficulties, guys. I just got some new stuff for my GoPro and I'm testing it on this video actually. So sometimes it'll stay connected and sometimes it don't, which I'm finding out that more times than not it don't, but it's fine. All part of the learning process, no big deal. Alright, so we'll just take our tool, zip this puppy on real quick, try and make sure the bracket's straight, which I don't think it matters, but I like it to be just so. And then give it a little bit of torque, put it all the way up, and then hit it again. And there you go. Now, as you see, this is important. So we got the bracket on right, okay? And you see it's not going anywhere. And the most important thing is this is away from this, because what can happen is if this is too far close to your bumper here, it can actually melt it. But I believe we shouldn't have any problems because of where it's at. It's really far away from everything. So it should be good to go from there. So
most crucial part about that is where you make your cut on the existing pipe coming into the muffler. You want to make sure you're even with that frame rail, and also it'll give you the cut right here in the straight section of the exhaust. If you get it in the middle of a bend, it's gonna be ovaled and you're not gonna be able to slip this over. So just make sure you get your cut even with the back of that frame rail, and it'll get the spacing right over here.
all right, so next thing we're gonna do is get the band clamp on there, and then after that we will do a sound test and see how good this sucker sounds. As you see, what I had to use here wasn't a 15 like they had said in the instructions. It was rather a 14, simply because I had to get this style clamp, and I got it from O'Reilly's, like I said, for about 13, 14 bucks. It really wasn't that expensive. But as you see, here and here, there's no gap. So, you know, if you've seen it in the time lapse, you just want to go back and forth, alternate between these two to try and make sure that, you know, you get it as tight as you can. And, you know, that way you get a nice tight seal. As you see around the pipe, there is no place where it's not sealed at, like it's maybe has a little gap here, but I might try and tighten that up just a smidge here in a second. But other than that, it looks good. Exhaust is nice and sturdy. Everything is put in here now the way it's supposed to. Like I said, you got your hanger here. Make sure that your bracket, like I said, is facing towards the exit of the pipe. And that's all there is to it. All right, guys, so what we're going to do now is we're going to give this sucker a test fire and see what it sounds like, and also check for exhaust leaks and things. Hopefully we don't have any of those, right? Basically what you would be looking for is, if you see how this is letting out like smoke right here, well basically you would just look back there right where you put the clamp on, and if you were to see any type of smoke coming out like that, then that would mean that you have an exhaust leak that you need to fix. But I don't see any smoke coming out where it's not supposed to, so that means we're good. Like, everything is the way it should be. So now I'm going to put it back down there and give you guys a few revs. That way you can kind of see how that sounds, and hopefully it'll sound pretty good. Well, there you guys have it. We don't have any exhaust leaks. It's done right the first time, which is awesome. Very happy about that. So that'll be it for today's video. Like I said, this is the next project coming. There's going to be a lot of stuff getting done to this one, and it will be a lot different from mine. Like, it'll be a lot different from my silver Tiguan that you guys have come to know on my channel. Simply because it's my fiance's, and she has different plans for hers than what I do for mine, which is awesome, because it's going to create a whole new content. And also to give you guys kind of an update here in the future, I might be doing some shop updates. As you see, like, my shop does need a little bit of update, so we're going to be doing that. But I will try to do still some VW stuff on the channel, you know, during the midst of doing that. But with that being said, that's how you install a tiggy pipe right there. I hope it was good enough for you guys. If not, leave a comment down below. As always, I'm going to put the link for the tiggy pipe in the description. That way you guys can find it and put one on your Tiguan. It's a very easy, very cheap upgrade. Makes it sound better instantly, as you've seen, and it's easy to do. I mean, you can do it right in your own garage with just a few tools, as you guys saw. So it's not really that expensive. You don't have to be a, you know, an exhaust whiz to do it. But that'll be all for today's video. I do have some parts coming for the silver Tiguan, so be on the lookout for those. One of them hopefully will be here next week. Not really sure on that. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all your support so far. For all my subscribers out there, thank you very much. Thank you to b2fab for helping me with the part in this video, for sponsoring that for me. It's huge. Plan to do more work with you guys as well. Follow me on Instagram, for I have, you know, all the latest projects, the newest parts and everything on there before they make their way over to YouTube. You guys already know. But until then, take it easy, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.